Hi, my name is Robert Drysdale. This is my friend Rodrigo Cravaca. Now, today I'm going to be showing you guys what Jiu Jitsu is. Now, before we go on chokes and submissions and all those arm bars you guys want to learn, we're going to go over some basics. I'm going to show you guys the main positions we use in Jiu Jitsu. Okay? Probably one of the most common positions one of the most used positions in Jiu Jitsu is the back. That's the first one I'm going to show you guys. Now, when I have someone's back, I'm going to use what we call the hooks. See, I have two hooks in. This would be one hook, two hooks, and I'm going to be using what we call upper body control, which normally is, we call it seat belt or over-under, is this right here. Okay, it could be on this side. Now notice that my head is always going to be on the opposite side my top arm is. So I have one arm underneath his armpit, the other arm over his shoulder, and my head should be on the opposite side my arm is. So what this is going to do is going to keep my opponent in front of me. I wouldn't want to have him here. That's going to give him a way out, and we're going to learn that later on. Right now, I just want you guys focusing on this right here. This is what we call back control. Okay? This is just one, there are many variations for this position, different ways of controlling your opponent. This is like one of the most basic ones. And before we move on to more sophisticated positions, I want to give you guys the basics. Okay? So, next position I want to show you guys is something you've seen you've probably seen a lot in MMA fights, you've probably seen it in jiu-jitsu tournaments. That's what we call a closed guard. Okay? Now, closed guard, the reason the guard was developed is in case you end up on the bottom, you know how to fight. Rather than just, that doesn't mean you want to be on the bottom. You should always try to be on top of your opponent. But if you get taken down, it means the fight's not over. You can keep going. You can look for submissions and for sweeps from here. Okay? So when I'm in closed guard, normally what I have to do is I have to keep my head up and try to keep my opponent down in front of me. I don't want to keep my head low. I don't want my hands or my elbows on the mat. This is where I want to be. I can block his biceps. I can block his chest, his rib cage. I don't want to put my hands down here too low, and I have no posture. If Cravaca brings me in, grab my head, Cravaca, I'm falling forward. Okay? I have no position here. I want to stay right here. This is what we call posture. Okay? Now, Cravaca's going to be looking for arm bars. He's going to be looking for submissions, for guillotines, for kimuras. And you guys are going to learn all those. Right now, I just want you guys understanding what a closed guard is. Okay? If Cravaca opens his legs, this is what we would call an open guard. It's that simple. Okay, so basically, he's just guarding his position. What these legs are doing is they're preventing me from getting into a better position. And we're going to show you guys what those positions are. So, next position after the open guard is a half guard. Now, this is what we call a half guard, just because he's got one leg trapped. You see this? Now, what this means is I'm halfway past. I got one leg free, I'm almost on his side, but this one leg is still keeping me in guard. So I'm not really in what a position I want to be yet, although this is a great position to be in. Okay? Normally when I have a half guard, I'm going to be looking for this underhook on the opposite side. So if I'm on this side, I'm going to be controlling that right there. This is what we call an underhook. My arm goes under his armpit, my shoulder's going to press him down. Now what this does, it flattens my opponent. See how he's flat on his back? That's what I want. My opponent wants to be on his side. If he's on his side, he can fight me. So I'm always keeping him flat on his back. And with my right hand, I'm going to be grabbing his face, his head, and pressing my shoulder against his face. And this is my side, my half guard. Turn around. This right here. Okay. Now once again, there's not only one way of controlling half guard. There are hundreds of variations. I'm just giving you guys a basic idea of what I'm looking for when I'm in this position. I'm always trying to control his head, I'm trying to flatten him out, and I'm trying to control that underhook. If I have those three things, I have control over my opponent. Okay. Now once I free this leg, it's going to be what we call a pass. I just passed this guard. This is what we call side control. It's the same underhook, it's the same head control, and my chest is on his chest. You see this? I keep my shoulder on his face. This is what we call side control. I just passed his guard. His legs are out of the way. I don't have to worry about them anymore. Now, it's time to move on to submitting. Okay, now I'm in a far superior position. Whenever you see someone in this position where Cravaca is right now, he's in a horrible spot. There's nothing he can do from there except defend himself. The only thing he can do is try to go to his knees or try to put me back in guard. While I was in guard, closed guard, open guard, even half guard, Cravaca still had options. He could attack me. He could go for arm bars. He can go for sweeps. Once I'm in side control, the only thing he can do is defend himself. The only thing he can do is try to go to his knees and try to stand back up or put me back in guard. All right, so now I'm in far superior position. Once again, many variations here. Right now, I'm going to show you guys the next common position from here, my next move from side control, which is going to be knee on belly. Now, it's not really the knee, it's more the shin, and it's going to cross his stomach here. So I'm just going to kind of put all my weight on my left shin, and I'm going to post on my right leg. See how my legs kind of level with his head on the same, same alignment? So I'm just going to keep it like that. I got a solid base here. I don't want to have my head too low or too high. I just want to be here. And this is not a controlling position. I'm not going to stay here. It's a transition. I transition, let's say I were passing his guard on my feet, I would transition from knee on belly, let's say over here, and I pass knee on belly to side control, or from side control, knee on belly, and mount, which is the next position we're going to learn. So going back to knee on belly, I try to keep as much weight as possible on my opponent, make him very uncomfortable. And that's another thing about my method. I'm always trying to make my opponent uncomfortable. If he's uncomfortable, he's more likely to make a mistake. So once again, knee on belly, easy, right? No problem. See? In position, I don't have my knee on the mat, my foot. Once I'm here, all I'm going to do is move to mount. Now I have what we call a high mount. Many variations, different ways of mounting your opponent. This is what we call a high mount, where I have both my knees underneath his armpit, and then both my feet underneath his butt. Now, this position right here, Kavak has even less options. The only thing he can do is bridge or put me back in guard. There's absolutely nothing he can do from here. You see people try to choke from here or push, or in MMA fights every now and then you see someone trying to punch from the bottom. It's not going to do much, okay? He should be trying to defend himself. Look, he's flat on his back. If he's flat on his back, he can't fight me. He's got nothing, all right? So, in mount, I'm normally trying to control his head. I'm still looking for those underhooks. I always like those underhooks. Whenever I have those underhooks, I have control of my opponent. So I'm always looking for those, okay? And this, from here, a lot of times, a very common thing is Kavaka to turn his back. And I'm just going to take advantage of that. And I'm going to go to my back control, the one we just worked on a few minutes ago. So now I have my upper body control and my hooks, okay? So these are some of the basic positions we have in Jiu-Jitsu. There are others, but these positions right here are where most of my submissions are going to come from. They're going to come from the closed guard, from the open guard, from the half guard, mount, back. I want you guys remembering this stuff because you will see it a lot in Jiu-Jitsu matches. If you're going to be practicing, you're going to be rolling, you're going to be training, these positions are the ones you're going to be seeing. I mean, this is what you have to understand. So remember those names: closed guard, open guard, half guard, side control, knee on belly, mount, back. Okay, you guys get that?